Oh, all right, what I'll do then is I'll just show you. I'm going to paint in acrylics. So put that there. And these are the acrylics I'm going to take around with me. So there's my rag. You always need a rag. So what I will be painting with, I'm not going to use everything that I've got here, but where are we? So the old favourite, if you can see that there, that's ultramarine blue. Cadmium red, titanium white. I'm glad I'm doing this because it's all got to go into a bag. I've got red oxide in there. I didn't want to actually bring that with me, but that might be good. Cadmium yellow. This tube of paint is so old that I can't actually read it anymore. I can't actually read it. What does it say there? It's like a yellow ochre, but it might be, might not be. It's very much like a yellow ochre. For the first time ever, I'm going to put phthalo green onto a palette, or phthalo green, however you pronounce it. I haven't used it before, but I saw a guy online and he was using phthalo green. If I depart from my usual palette, I usually use a Viridian, but I just want to see how this works, if I'm going to take it with me. That's it, I think. Where are we? I've got my red, my yellow, my green, I've got my blue. Yes, that's... I know why that red oxide is there. I was supposed to put in burnt sienna. I prefer burnt sienna. I'm going to get burnt sienna. Just bear with me. Bear with me. That's burnt sienna there. Okay, great. Luckily it was at the top of the pile. There's a massive box of acrylic paints there down by my right hand side. So let's chuck all the others back down in the bag. Right, let's put these out. Get the rag there. I'll start out with my white there. This is kind of an unusual thing. This is just a board that I put there. I'm going to mix paints on it, but I might be going off the screen sometimes. Let me just white. I better put a bit more than that, hadn't I? White, yellow, cadmium yellow. Yeah, it looks like a yellow ochre to me. It might be a raw umber, but you'd think I'd know, wouldn't you? Red, cadmium red. Put the blue, I'll put the green actually here. This phthalo green. The blue. And the burnt sienna. Because that way I can get my darkest darks from those. Right. Put those there for later. Got my water there. So, alright, so what I'm going to do is put on a wash first. Then I can talk to you while I'm putting on the wash. Is everything sort of set up right as far as you're concerned? Like, so you can see me and you can hear me? Do let me know. So, what I'm painting on is a kind of a paper that's prepared for acrylics. Do you know what else I might do as well? I might also have an acrylic extender to see whether that works, because it's an interesting thing. I don't know whether you've heard of golden acrylics. Have you heard of golden acrylics? They've got a paint called open acrylics, and they're supposed to kind of mimic oils. In fact, they don't sort of dry at the same rate as normal acrylics, and they're kind of expensive. They're good paints. They don't feel like oils, but they are good paints, and they do what they say they're going to do, which is take a longer while to set. Even though it's not quite the same thing as oils, you know, it's still a bit hard to get blends, I think. But they're good. But they're expensive, and I'm just wondering whether just adding that, because Winsor & Newton have this material. Here it is. Hang on, I'll show it to you. Where is it? Here. They've got this. That's acrylic extender. That one there, or slow drying medium, yeah. Extender, I suppose it is. So I'm just wondering if it will work the same way as the open acrylics. You're supposed to put a 1-to-1 mix. I'm going to fix that that colour on that screen. That's not right. It's very, very fruity looking. Let's have a look. Where am I? Just got to open this canvas. It's much yellower than it should be. I'm going to see if I can change it. Canvas, is that the one? Teacher and canvas, goes canvas. So that will be the saturation, sharpness, white balance maybe. Let's have a look at that. White balance. Shift it over. That's too grey. That looks a bit better. Shut that down. Gain, contrast, brightness. I think it will have to be that, wouldn't it? The white balance, sharpness. Okay, and that means I've got to save it as canvas. Get rid of that. Save it. Okay. Sorry. All right. What I'm going to paint is I've been doing this all week. Okay, so that's the demonstration I did for my class yesterday morning. Got a bit of crap on it there, but yeah. So that's the area. That's in Kerry. So I'm going to have that in front of me. I'm going to paint from it. So it's not going to be exactly the same. It's just really just using the equipment, testing that out. So I'm going to start out. There's going to be a slight sort of makey-uppy feel to it. Right. So I'm going to mix up a dark. I could use this here as well, couldn't I, to mix? It's in my studio. It's a bit like painting on plein air because I'm improvising as I go, which kind of tends to be what you have to do when you're out in the open. So let's do across here. This is what I would be doing if I was standing by the lake. I can go. There's the mountain there. Mountain across there, and then a closer body of land coming here. There's a tree, which is a birch tree actually, and that go there like that. Then there's the lake itself, bit of land coming in there, and that can come down a bit further. Around like that. I'll curve that up a little bit, and then there's a dark a load of trees there. Push that there. That's all water there. Sky here. Okay, so really that's it. So I'm going to start out with my darks. How do I lose things? Just the way I lose things. I'm unreal. So it was my rag I was looking for. Right. This has to be one of the most badly arranged podcasts ever, or live streams. So I'm going to start out with a dark. So maybe I'll use a bit of the phthalo green, since that's what I want to test out. I've put that into the burnt umber and blue that I had there before. So that's going to be pretty dark, isn't it? So let's see, that can be dark there like that, and then all around here. I'm going sort of quite lightly to begin with. I always find with acrylics it's kind of good to start lightly, because acrylic paints drag anyway. So as you put layers down, I think it starts to get easier to paint. Kind of builds up. I suppose it's I mean, it's plastic, isn't it, really? I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Acrylics paint, and it just kind of makes it easier to paint as more plastic goes on. So that can go there like that. That's slightly dark, and that's a pretty dark there. Okay, so I've got, that's kind of like a no-tan, isn't it? Most of the stuff is in there. So which means I can get on with some of the stuff around here. So I'm going to mix up more phthalo green with a bit of yellow and a touch of red to make it more natural. A bit more, I might put a bit of that yellow ochre into it. And just put that down. Or something that I should do, isn't it? Use that slow drying medium. Problem is it's quite liquid. If I put it out on here, this is on a slope, it'll pour off onto my lap. So that there is kind of green as well, up there, and the tree. Put some greens in there. So it's kind of like a bit, it's like makey-uppy landscape. So I'm going to get some water, a body of water in. Do you know what? I might put some slow drying medium in. Let's see if it actually does stay on. If I put it up here a bit, it might take longer to. There, look, it's clear. It's like a gel, a bit goopy. Let's see, but they're talking about 1-to-1 ratios. Wonder will that make it very, very transparent? Okay, I know it's up behind my little logo there, but I think you can see it well enough. So let me grab some of that and put it down here. Grab some blue, see what happens, mix it up. Bit of white. And all that bog water, you're in Scotland, aren't you, I think, so you have the same kind of scenery as we have, and you get all that red bog stuff. I don't know what you call it. It just leaches into the water in the lakes. So I'm going to put that there like that. I don't expect it to be like oils, but it is nice to have that kind of flow. That can go along there, so that block there. Wonder how long that will take before it starts to set, before it won't take any mixing. Okay, there like that. Have you done any painting yourself? It's kind of a good thing to take your mind off all the stuff that's going on. So let's do the sky now. The sky would be a lot lighter. I kind of do like a bit of a pink sky, slightly sort of a violet kind of sky. And I'll put a bit of extender into that. See what happens. I don't know whether you're familiar with Paul Henry, the painter from the 1900s. He was American, and he and his wife kind of lived in the west of Ireland, and they went out and painted all these scenes from the west of Ireland. So, I mean, it's a big noise in Ireland. You know, he's painting himself a lot. He's kind of part of the national collection type of thinking, I suppose. So that'll do there. How about some clouds? I'm going to go for more orangey clouds. So maybe I can put that. I'll have to mix it here, won't I? I don't have a terrible amount of room here, but yellow, white, and some of the extender. It's feeling okay so far. See, if this does work, I think it's an awful lot cheaper than buying golden paints. You know, the golden open paints, I should say, because I like Winsor & Newton. I like their paints. I'm very happy with their professional quality acrylic paints. I don't see the need for any other type of paint. Get some more yellow into that. There. Scatter that around. Make sure the tree is visible, because the tree is kind of like, they're looking like a sentinel, isn't it? So yeah, that's kind of good. I can work off that. I want to restate some of the darks actually before I go on. So once again, I'm going to get the burnt sienna blue, and phthalo green. I'll start calling it phthalo now. I was calling it phthalo there, but when I was looking at other people, they were calling it phthalo, so maybe that's the correct pronunciation. So here, there, quite substantial body of trees there. And then down here, you can frame the painting by putting it a bit dark down here. Oh, that's quite, that is quite transparent now. That makes, possibly because it's got the extender in it. That's interesting. Down here too. And then here. That's all very random. And here, of course, okay, now the bodies of land. Change my brush. Which one can I use? Yeah, the bodies of land at the back. Say maybe a phthalo blue. So the green, put a bit of burnt or yellow ochre in there, and also some of the sky colour. Let's grab some sky, a bit more white, and put that in. Make it a grey. Put some red in as well. More white. A bit more red in there. Over there. A bit more yellow, I think, would be better. Bit of extender. That would be quite interesting, actually. So far away hills. Can always adjust that later. And up there. Grayer. Bit of blue. Bit of red. Hmm. And then there's a kind of a very distant mountain poking out there. That'll do. And then that can go across there. It's funny because the acrylics paints tend to sort of look fruity anyway. Oh, here we go. Sorry, another. I've looked up to see a thing. What comment? I think the open gives you a thicker paint than you get by adding extender. Okay, which tends to make it less viscose. Unless, okay, you're talking about the heavy body paint. The open gives you thicker paint than you get by. So they've got a particular formula then. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's grab some blue. Oh, we can put the undersides of some clouds there. That is mixing well, actually. That surprisingly oily feel to that. Some of these can also have the undersides of some of the clouds there. That's extending it time-wise, I suppose, quite well. Yeah, I like that so far. Okay, let's grab some more white and put it in the cloud mix over there. Yeah, going back to Paul Henry, he painted these monumental skies. Really, really lovely work, and they look very naturalistic. But they're, when you study them, they can't have been exactly, the way he painted them. He did it for effect, which was a really lovely effect. Right, so maybe there's some darks in that water there, so darker. Maybe put a bit of red in it, darken it down. Yeah, this has definitely made the paint slightly more transparent, which I'm not too. Yeah, I'm not averse to that. I think that seems to be kind of working. And go down there. Maybe even touch of green in the water there, certain places. Not phthalo green. Put a bit of red in that. And then some green. Okay. Now I need some more reds in that foliage. Bit of green, bit of cadmium red, bit of yellow. Oh, I didn't put any extender in that. The whole point of this is to test that out, really. So now there is some. Yeah, definitely more transparent. Because that might help, because very often when I go to a hot country and I'm painting with acrylics, the paint dries on the brush. It is really quite a nuisance. Let's go back to my foliage. Put some phthalo green in it. Push that up a little bit to the water's edge. Okay. I need to restate my darks again. Bit of blue, bit of green, bit of burnt sienna. And extender. Don't forget the extender. Yeah, the extender might help with that drying on the brush business. I don't know how much effect it will have, but we'll see, won't we? I think it needs more burnt sienna in that. Remember when I first started illustrating, I bought myself a tube of slow drying medium, and I hated it. I can't remember why, because it's probably because I was doing illustration, and it turned out it was just working against me. Speed is one thing that you need in editorial illustration, and it didn't work for me. And I think all I was interested in was being able to do blending, which turned out I didn't need to do anyway. God, I was such a chancer there. A more russet colour in here. We're going up the value scale a little bit. That'll do there like that. I want to send those that mountain back a little further. Do I? Do I really want to? Maybe I don't. It doesn't look too bad. I'll add a little bit of grey into that there. I suppose those are McGillicuddy's reeks. Oh, that's still in motion, that paint. You know, I wouldn't be averse to using this as well. Then, especially a miser like me, or if I already have the paints, I might as well get some kind of use out of them instead of just chopping and changing all the time to different marks. And need some red in that green to make it natural, and then that can go along there. I think I actually might have to change my brush a little bit to a slightly smaller one. See if this one works. The last time I was doing this, my head kept going into shots, so I hope it's not happening this time. I would like to do a brighter horizon. Oh gosh, no, that's too much. Fiery sky. Shepherd's delight. Let's get some white, more yellow. Oh, don't forget the extender. Yeah. Now I do think that tree needs to be more towards the red than the green. Pushing it out there in little sort of spindly bits. Okay. back into the ground here. And then it does need some brighter greens too. So see, that's toxic green when you just mix red, green and phthalo green and yellow. Stick a bit of red into it, a bit more yellow. It's not too, let's see, that's not too bad. I think a little bit more red. Yeah, more red. And also there's a bit of a green area coming down to the lake. Across there too. And down here. Which means go back to the water. Water is there, isn't it? Yeah. Of course, it's very bright. Shake that down a little bit. Push that up there. And then kind of dark in places as well. So grab some of that. I always go sort of quite quiet, don't I, once the painting starts advancing. I have to remember to talk to people. You're right there, Waverley. It's you and me, I think. Yeah. And then there's some light. A bit more than that. Be reflecting the sky. I wonder what will happen. Because the reference I use, you couldn't see any reflections of the sky and the water, but I'm going to see whether it works by putting that in there like that. Rouge. Back to the sky. Let's see if I can get a bit pink in that sky. Where am I going to find? I'm going to have to come over here. A little bit of warm pink. Extender. One of my students painted a beautiful sky earlier on. I kind of wish I'd done it. I'll have to destroy her confidence. but it does actually, it does the job there. Really, I'm kind of quite pleased with that. Now back into the this whole mountainside there. I didn't touch. I can go along there like that. I can go along there like that. Now, some darks. I think I might have to come down and change my brush. I'll come down a size. Like that. This is actually nearly a pure blue. I just thought I fancied sort of changing the colour a little bit, or changing what the tenor of the piece is, so it's more, how do you say, impressionist, I suppose. See, I'm gonna, after this is finished, I'll turn the lights on in the studio and it'll look completely different. But what can you do? What can you do? They can all come up there like that. Make some more. Put a bit of phthalo blue, green into it. Oh, no. You tried open acrylic for portraits. The idea would make blending easier. Yeah, and what did you think? I haven't done any portraits with it yet. I actually managed to lose the entire set of open acrylics in my studio. I could not find them in there. I found them just a couple of months ago, underneath some other crap that I had lying around. My own worst enemy. Put them up there like that. This can go up there. Break the line of the mountain there, and then maybe I can just sort of tone it down a touch, put some subtle tonal or even hue differences. It's kind of got reddish bits in there like that. Now, let's go down to my small brush. I'm going to add in some distant trees. Distant enough. It could be dark because the light's coming towards us, isn't it? So that can have some trees. A little line going along there. Across there. And then back into here. Yes, there's a couple of lights which are not, it's kind of like, is it sand or something? I remember from the reference before, because I don't have the original photographic reference with me anyway, so half of this is made up. I can go along there. There were rocks, and over here there were rocks too. Big, huge limestone rocks, I think. And back into here. Now I think some roaring red will do in that foreground now. Oh, let's have a look at your comment. The open acrylics work, but you're not very used to how much better oil paint is for this, so can... I'm not quite sure I understand. Well, I'm not very used to how much better oil, how much you can really judge. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of, the way this is working, I'm kind of reasonably happy with it. It's I really like it, actually. I have to say, I like it the way it works so far. Then of course you'll go out in the field, and something will mitigate against you painting properly, rain or something like that. Some lighter. Paraphernalia here. You know what? I'd like to do a really bright, just in there, a really bright. Is that bright enough? Hang on, we'll try a bit of the extender. The brush I'm using is a very abused brush. It's I don't think I ever cleaned it from the last time I painted with it. Actually, around there, it could shape that hill a bit. Little point of interest. And direct the viewer. I suppose what'll happen now is that I'll end up fiddle farting. Rain and comparing oil paint and open acrylics. Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest, you kind of really do what you can do, don't you? You should be sort of able to improvise on the moment. Was it John Lennon said, so I'm an artist, give me a tuba and I can produce something for you. I'm paraphrasing, but right. Oh yes, there's some darky, not too dark, but there darks around there. That maybe in down there, hedges and stuff like that. That's bothering me. Oh, it came off. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So now let's do some more. What do you call it? Finessing, I suppose. Got stuff coming up into the water there like that. Well, there's a tree trunk to do, isn't there? Were you going to let me sort of go on without sort of reminding me about the tree trunk? Oh, a bit more green. the tweed twunk. There's a bit of blue into that. Should be fine now. It's birch, that's why it's so white, I suppose. But I know the upper branches are not. They're not white like that. I have a birch sitting outside my studio. Hang on, that brush isn't small enough. That can go there like that. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way that works. I think what happens is when I did my wash, which was burnt sienna, when I normally paint, when I do that in oils, I'll do my wash in oils as well, and when you paint on top of it, because it's still wet, it comes up into the paint, and I think that gives the painting something, and it doesn't happen with this, and that's possibly where the fruitiness is still coming in. What would happen if I put a little bit of burnt sienna into that blue? Makes it greyer, I suppose. Rain and water mixable oil paint. Right, okay. The rain. Do you know what? That even happened to me while I was painting in oils in France. And I'm sure I'd painted in oils in the rain before, but this in France, it wasn't that the rain was so heavy. It kind of pockmarked my painting. It just was weird. You know, every drop that went onto the painting just kind of made a mark, kind of moved the paint or something. It was highly irritating. I think I gave up. It's like the time that I was painting a lighthouse in County Cork. We all went down for a weekend of painting. A bunch of illustrators. It was terrific fun. But I went outside to paint the lighthouse, and I was painting away there, and maybe I was about halfway through or something like that, and the wind suddenly got up and it blew the whole thing onto my face. The whole painting was about 16 by 20 painting. I was disgusted, and I just went back inside. Yes, it's a man's life, isn't it, in the world of en plein air painting. More guff. Right. I'll do it now. Let's see how this works. I put some. This is a kind of like an illustrated. It's acrylics, prepared for acrylics paper, but the surface actually doesn't really. It's not really a strong surface, I don't think. It's good for when the initial watery paint seeps into it. I like that, but for the masking tape, and I'm the devil for using masking tape. I love to have that kind of neat finish on the paper. Let's have a look. Let's grab it. Let's take this off of here first. Take that off there. Put it to one side. Right, you had to laugh when the spots started to appear and then it just gradually dissolved. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's all part of life's rich tapestry. Ah, get off. The paint's coming off my hand onto the nice white margins. I've got strong, how would you call it, perfectionist streak in me. Because it doesn't stop me from doing things, but I just love those sort of clean edges. And they're not necessary really, because if you ever wanted to frame a painting, it covers up those anyway. Let's have a look at this. Normally I would be using Painter and Decorator's frog tape because it's less sticky. Get off there, you. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the paint, it seems to have set. See, I'm taking off some of the surface there. Don't like that. This tape is too strong. Let's get some more frog tape. Oh, look, I've just... Get off there, you. Oh, that really did make a mark, didn't it? Hang on, let's get my sky, my cloud colour. Get you gone. Shag off. There. Yeah, I think that will work. I'm going to bring those with me. I mean, the only thing is it's not a how do you say, what do they call them, blocks? Not one of those paper pad blocks, which are kind of glued around the edge and they keep the paper flat. This has kind of got kind of a bit of a wave in it now because of that. But look, I mean, that's fine. Maybe it'll flatten out if I put a book on top of it after it's dry. Yum, 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 yum. Yes, that's right. Winsor & Newton acrylic paper. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's have a look. Come back to me. Yeah, that could be good. Like the fact that it's a non-porous, it kind of doesn't make too much of a difference with acrylics. I kind of like I like the porosity of that. It's just that the tape was a bit too strong, so it pulled a bit of the surface off. But apart from that, I kind of like the feel of it. So, and also I like the fact that it's not textured. Like, I mean, it just has a kind of a, how would you say, like a cartridge paper texture on it. It's kind of, it's not rough, but it's, you know, got a nice papery feel. So I do like that. I like the way. So I mean, it's kind of smooth. I like the smoothness of it. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way the extender worked. Actually, I have to say. I think maybe I should have done the wash with the extender as well. Maybe seen what difference that would have made. Yeah. So that means I can use all my old acrylics, and I have. Let me show you. That's the box of acrylics. It's ridiculous. And I think 80% of them I'm not going to use anyway. Kind of acquired them over the years. And that's just the acrylics. I've got a box of open acrylics. I've got a box of student quality oils. I've got a box of artist quality oils. And I've got a box of water miscible oils as well. And let's not get on to the other painting shit that I have lying around. So I'm going to have to do some think I'm going to have to sort of leave it as a family heirloom for somebody else to sort out. So there you go, Waverley. You probably told me your first name, and I can't remember it. I'm appalling. But yeah, so tell me what you think. Write me what you think. And I don't know if there was anyone else in the chat. If you are there, let me know. And if you are there and you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to me and hit the like doings, because it's always nice to know what people are at, what they think. How maybe you can ask a question and maybe I can answer it even. I'm looking. What am I looking for? Oh yeah. Let's change it to C. Hang on. There we go. Oh yeah, live streaming. Okay, maybe it's just the two of us. No, there were 21. Anyway, which is kind of large for me, isn't it? Let me move that. Oh. Yeah. Oh, so you've written something else. Yeah. Well, I hope the weather stays good for you. I think it's going to be quite blowy here and rainy. So maybe don't bring out the open acrylics, or indeed the usual acrylics. Yeah. Or just paint from a painting that you've done before. That's what I did tonight. So, and actually I prefer the one that I painted from it. I kind of felt freer than when I painted it from the original reference. So yeah, no, it'd be great. And then maybe you can sort of send me what you've painted. Did you receive a notification from me today? I sent something post out through YouTube. Anyway, I'm just wondering whether you received it or not, whether this stuff works. I'm going to sign off, go into the house, get my tea, and go and sit down on the couch and watch television. Yeah, I've never had hay fever. I don't, thanks be to God, have any allergies as far as I know. Yeah, but it sounds rotten. So listen, you have a great weekend. And yeah, keep going. It's all we can do, isn't it? So, all right. So hopefully, if I do see you next week, I'll be away from my studio. I'll be out and about. So I might do something from my phone if I can make that happen. Well, let's see, shall we? All right. So yeah, well, it won't be from in here, whatever happens. So it might be just me talking to camera, and God knows I can talk. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Is that? Oh yeah, there's the mouse. Listen, have a good one.